Good evening, everyone. This is Shauna, and I'm here tonight with another installment from our Bob and Nikki series. If you're following the series, we're up to book 5. And in this book, we really start to kind of up the ante. We start to see more of the bot's capabilities. We start to see more interaction between the bots and humans, and we start to see Bob expand his base of operations. Besides the ongoing um, feud between the Rodhams, the Slongums, and the Mendhams, and we get some um, more insight into that. We also colonize a whole new planet. Let me show you the cover of this book. This is the cover of book 5. It's aptly named Charlie's Planet. And the setup for this book is that at the end of book 4, Bob and his crew are having a barbecue at his house. They're setting up things. They're kind of disbanding, and Bob and Nikki go off and they have a private moment, and then they come back and Nikki makes an announcement that she's pregnant. And if you remember from book 4, then you remember that she got shot with a stunner, high powered stunner, in an altercation with some of the pirates that Bob was with. And he went a little out of control on them and stunned them more than he probably needed to. But we find out that Nikki is going to have twins, a boy and a girl. And Bob and Nikki prepare for their honeymoon. And so what they're planning to do is they're planning to go out of system to the planet that they're calling Charlie's Planet, which is the planet where um, the Starfoot live. If you remember from book 4, we know there are Sasquatch characters on Earth. They're called Bigfoot. We know that humans are called by other groups the Smallfoot, and then we also have the Smallfoot, the Bigfoot, and the Starfoot. So the Starfoot are Squatches that live on another planet, and they happen to be Charlie's Planet that Bob creates there. They colonize this planet, not colonize it, I should say. They share this planet with the Squatches. We get more information about some of the pirates. There's a trafficking operation going on that involves exploitive slavery of the Starfoot, um, because they're big and because they're believed to be big and stupid. They get pain implants put into them, which we saw a little bit of in book 4. We see more of that here. In book 5, we see Bob and his team, mostly Steve and John, removing the pain implants from those individuals. We also meet a lot of um, different bots. There are a lot of saucer rescues in here, so there's a lot of fugitives that Bob sort of cleans up for, and the way that that propels the plot is that we begin to see that Bob is building quite a reputation, which we've seen over the past 4 books, but he's really building a reputation now as being someone that people can count on, not only with good prices, but people are really coming to him, and he's still a fairly well kept secret. One of the more important aspects of this book, and one of the reasons why it's a favorite of mine in the series is and this is an undercurrent that you've seen hints of in previous books, so all the way as far back as book 2, when Bob discovers Topper, Ozzy, and Taz, and gives them personalities and starts to give them autonomy and helps them grow and develops their musicianship and the various skills that they have. Bob is deciding whether he should seek galactic citizenship because he's still worried about what's going to happen if the operation is found out about on Earth. So he's deciding whether or not to pursue galactic citizenship. But what he realizes very quickly is that if he does that, all the bots that he's grown used to working with will need to have their limiters placed back on them, because the essence of what's making this situation work, and honestly so much fun to read about, is that the laws against limiters, the laws that say you have to have limiters, only exist in galactic jurisdictions, and Earth is not that. So Bob scraps that plan, which means he needs a whole new plan. He needs a bolt hole, basically. And this book is basically developing his bolt hole strategy. So we have Charlie and we have a couple of the other guys. If you remember the D.B. Cooper character who goes by a different name, we see him, they put him on there. There's a couple of Squatch characters that are on the planet. So we're starting to colonize, not necessarily colonize, but we're starting to sort of relocate some people. And basically the only part of the book that part of the operation, I should say, that you can't move is Shady Oaks. The people at Shady Oaks are kind of stuck where they are. There's indications at the end of this book that Bob is planning to start recruiting more people from Shady Oaks for his team. There's also indications that there are way more robots around that have been stranded, that have been exploited, as Ruth had been. Remember, Ruth was the bot that was buried for 130 years because her owner didn't let her have permission to move the saucer. So she stayed underground for 130 years. And there's some very endearing moments where she's learning about what it means to examine her personality and examine what it means to be part of the team. And there's just a lot of very nice camaraderie here. There's some daring rescues. There is quite a bit of repetition with the rescue language and how they do it and the piloting skills and all of that. There's a lot of character development in here that I really like and make this a strong contender in the series. It's just a nice sort of book to fall into, and it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. It ends, Bob and Nikki have basically had this working honeymoon, which is not a honeymoon. And so they decide that they're going to they end up on Charlie's planet. They decide that they're going to continue that and do that for a couple of weeks, but we don't know yet. He leaves Taz and Ruth at their request on Charlie's planet to help with some of the relocation efforts with some of the new people that they have. They have a lot of operations going on that are new in this book. And so it doesn't end on a cliffhanger, but it definitely leaves open the possibility for more growth. So tune in next week if you want to hear more about what goes on with the series, and we'll get into book 6. But until then, I hope this finds you well, and I hope you're enjoying the series, and I hope to chat with you very soon. I'll see you in my next video. Take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Mm-hmm.